You're not tired, you're just avoiding the work. Let that sink in. We've all said it. I'm tired. But most of the time we're not talking about physical exhaustion. We're talking about something else entirely. We're talking about boredom, about lack of interest, about fear. Fear of doing the hard thing, fear of failing, fear of giving our all and still falling short. But instead of facing that, we wrap it up in a neat little excuse. I'm tired. It sounds valid, it sounds reasonable, but it's just a lie we tell ourselves so we don't have to show up. Think about it. When something exciting comes up, like a party, a game, or your favorite movie, suddenly that tiredness disappears. You find the energy. Because it was never really about being tired. It was about not wanting to do something uncomfortable. Here's the hard truth. Most of us are not exhausted. We're undisciplined. And the difference matters, because if you're tired, you rest. But if you're undisciplined, you change. You build better habits. You stop giving in to every emotion or excuse that pops into your head. You might be thinking, but I work hard. And sure, maybe you do. But discipline isn't just about working when it's easy. It's about showing up when it's hard, when you're stressed, when you're uninspired, when you're drained. That's when discipline kicks in. Look, your body isn't the issue. Your mind is. Your brain loves shortcuts. It loves comfort. It wants to keep you safe, warm, entertained. And when it senses discomfort, like working out, waking up early, or starting that difficult task, it throws up the I'm tired signal. But you have to be smarter than that. You have to see through the illusion. You have to know that growth only happens when you push beyond what feels easy. So the next time your mind whispers, I'm tired, ask yourself this: am I really tired, or am I just looking for a way out? Because the only way to get ahead in life is to stop lying to yourself and start showing up even when you don't feel like it. Let's get one thing straight. You don't need more motivation, you need more discipline. Motivation is like a spark, quick, exciting, loud. But discipline is the fire that keeps burning when the spark dies out. You ever wonder how some people seem to always get things done? Early mornings, workouts, side hustles, full schedules, while others can't even get out of bed on time? It's not because they have more energy. It's because they've trained themselves to act with or without energy. They don't wait to feel ready. They've made showing up a habit. Discipline gives you energy because it removes the decision-making drama. You don't waste time thinking, should I do this or not? You just do it. No debates, no guilt, no delay. And that saves your mental energy for what really matters. Think of your brain like a battery. Every choice you make drains it. What to wear, when to start, how long to work. But disciplined people eliminate those tiny decisions. They follow a system, a routine, and that routine gives them structure, focus, momentum. When you train your brain to follow a routine, it stops fighting you. It gets used to the rhythm. Your body starts to expect that 6 a.m. workout. Your mind knows when it's time to focus. And guess what? That consistency builds energy, not just physically but mentally too. You feel more in control. You feel capable. Because you're not chasing motivation anymore. You've become your own power source. And here's the real secret. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You don't need to do everything at once. Start small. Wake up 15 minutes earlier. Make your bed. Do a 10-minute walk. Journal for 2 minutes. Read 1 page. These tiny habits may seem like nothing, but they create a rhythm, and that rhythm creates momentum. And that momentum, that's how you win. Discipline also does something powerful. It teaches your brain that you're in charge, not your mood, not your comfort, not your excuses. So the next time you feel too tired to do something, remind yourself, it's not about how you feel. It's about what you do anyway. You don't have to feel strong to train like a warrior. You just have to start. And soon your actions will feed your energy. Your routine will carry you when your feelings try to stop you. That's what discipline does. It makes you unstoppable. You think comfort is harmless. That cozy couch and endless scrolling can't possibly hurt you. But comfort is sneaky. It whispers, "You've earned a break," then never lets you go. Every time you choose easy over growth, you train your brain to crave comfort. A Netflix binge feels great in the moment. But tomorrow, that same craving will keep you from your workout, from your project, from the person you want to become. Here's what happens when you let comfort win. Your goals stall. The more you choose what's easy, the farther those big dreams drift away. You start tomorrows and tomorrow never comes. Your confidence shrinks. Every time you skip the hard thing, you tell yourself, "Maybe I can't do it." That doubt builds until you believe it. Your potential hides. The real you, the one capable of greatness, gets buried under habits that feel safe but leave you stagnant. Comfort isn't a reward. It's a trap. Imagine a lion in the wild that refuses to hunt because it's too hot. It lies in the shade, naps all day, then starves. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly what we do, just with less dramatic consequences. To break free, you need to recognize the cost of comfort. Whenever you catch yourself choosing ease, ask, "What am I really avoiding? How will I feel in 1 week if I skip this? Is this moment of pleasure worth a lifetime of regret?" Then, do the opposite. If your bed feels too warm, force yourself up. If your phone is calling your name, put it in another room. If that task seems too much, start anyway for just 2 minutes. You'll often find that once you begin, you get pulled in. Here's a quick rule. 2-minute challenge. Whenever you feel comfort pulling you down, commit to 2 minutes of the hard thing. 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of writing, 2 minutes of studying. Usually you'll finish those 2 minutes and realize it wasn't that bad. And guess what? You've just trained your brain to choose action over ease. Remember, discipline is a muscle, and comfort is its enemy. The more you resist that lazy voice, the stronger you become. So today, pick one area where you've been too comfortable. Maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's your work habits. Maybe it's finally opening that book you bought months ago. Whatever it is, fight for 2 minutes, then 2 more. And before you know it, comfort will lose its power, because real growth never happens in a cozy spot. It happens when you step outside, when you embrace the chill, the challenge, the discomfort. Discomfort is your path to progress. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. Let's be honest, no one believes your excuses as much as you do. When you say, "I'm just too busy," or "I'll do it tomorrow," you might fool your friends. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not too busy. You're just not disciplined. You're not overwhelmed. You're avoiding the uncomfortable. Here's the harsh reality. Excuses are stories we tell ourselves to feel okay with doing less. They make failure feel softer. They protect our ego, but they also kill our progress. Think about this. Every time you say, "I don't have time," what you're really saying is, it's not a priority. You had time to scroll on your phone. You had time to watch 3 episodes of a show. You had time to complain about how tired you are, but no time for that dream, that business idea, that workout. Come on. The truth is, we make time for what matters. And if you're not showing up, maybe it's because comfort matters more than progress. Right now, at least. And hey, we've all been there. We've all said things like, "I'll start when I feel better. Next week I'll be more consistent. I'm not in the right headspace today." But let me ask you something. What if you stopped negotiating with your excuses? What if you treated your goals like a life or death mission? Because in a way, they are. Not death of the body, but death of potential. Every time you choose an excuse, a part of your future self dies a little. The confident you. the successful you, the unstoppable you, all waiting on the other side of discipline, while you're stuck in a cycle of maybe later. Here's how you break it. Start catching your excuses in real time. Write them down. Say them out loud. You'll quickly see how ridiculous they sound. I'm too tired to move for 20 minutes, but I'm okay lying here doing nothing for 2 hours. See how that sounds? Once you hear your own excuses clearly, they lose power. They can't hide behind "I'm busy" or "not now." You see them for what they are, mental junk. From now on, when an excuse shows up, try this. Replace it with action, even small action. Tired? Go for a 5-minute walk. Unmotivated? Do 1 page, 1 rep. 1 call, not in the mood. Do it, especially when you're not in the mood. Because that's what separates winners from wishers. Winners show up. Wishers talk a lot and never move. So ask yourself, am I building the life I want, or building a wall of excuses around the one? I already hate the next time you say "I can't." Add these 2 words, "unless I try." Here's the truth no one wants to hear. You won't always feel like it. In fact, the moments that matter most are usually the ones when you feel like doing nothing. Champions know this. They don't wait for the perfect time. They train when it's raining. They grind when they're sore. They show up when they're tired, distracted, and uninspired. Because they understand something most people ignore. How you perform when you don't feel like it is what separates you from the rest. Everyone shows up when it's easy, when the sun is out, when energy is high, when life feels good. But champions? They show up when it's dark, when it's cold, when no one's watching, and it's in those quiet, painful, boring moments that greatness is built. You know those athletes you admire? The ones breaking records, collecting medals, dominating. They weren't born with extra energy. They just mastered the art of doing it anyway, even on the days their mind said, "Stay in bed." Even when their body screamed, "Rest." Even when life felt heavy, they moved. Because champions don't listen to their feelings. They lead their feelings. And guess what? You can do that too. You don't need to feel 100%. You don't need the perfect playlist or new shoes. You just need to start 1 rep, 1 sentence, 1 uncomfortable step forward. Momentum will follow. Action creates energy, and when you build the habit of showing up regardless of how you feel, something amazing happens. Your brain stops fighting you. It begins to accept that this is who you are now, not the person who waits to feel ready, but the person who moves anyway. Here's a secret. Even the best feel lazy sometimes. Even the strongest want to quit. But they've built something stronger than mood. They've built discipline. So the next time you want to skip that workout, that job application, that study session, ask yourself, what would the future version of me do right now? Because every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you cast a vote for greatness. And enough of those votes, they'll change your life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent, especially when it's hard. Because that's what champions do. Let's cut through the noise. Hype fades, habits stay. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need to wait for January 1st. You need a system, a routine that works when your mood doesn't. See, hype gets you excited for a day. Habits change your life over years. Anyone can be fired up after watching a motivational video, but what happens the next morning when your alarm rings at 5 a.m.? Will you get up, or will you roll over and tell yourself, "Tomorrow"? This is where most people lose. They chase the feeling instead of building the process. They want to feel motivated every day. But life doesn't work like that. Success doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from showing up every single day, especially when no one claps for you. Let's get practical. If you want to win, build systems. and systems are just habits you stick with. Here's how you do it. Start small. Don't commit to a 2-hour gym session if you've been inactive for months. Start with 10 minutes. Build trust with yourself. Make it daily. The habit doesn't need to be huge. It just needs to be consistent. 1 page a day becomes a book. 10 push-ups a day becomes strength. Track it. Don't let your progress disappear in your head. Use a notebook, an app, or a calendar. Seeing the streak motivates you to keep going. Don't break the chain. If you miss one day, get back on track the next. Never miss 2 in a row. That's how you protect the momentum. Identity over outcome. Stop saying, I want to write a book. Say, I'm a writer. Don't say, I want to get fit. Say, I'm the kind of person who trains daily. When you shift your focus from results to routines, you stop chasing perfection. You start chasing consistency. And that's where the real wins live. Not in one viral moment, but in the hundreds of quiet, disciplined days no one sees. The people you admire didn't build success off hype. They built it off boring, repeated action. Same workout, same morning, same habits, day after day. So stop looking for something new. Start doing what works, over and over again, because hype fades. But habits last forever. Your body isn't the only thing that needs training. Your mind does too. Because the most powerful tool you have is your mindset. You want discipline? You want focus, confidence, and mental strength? Then start treating your mind like a muscle. One that needs daily reps, not just occasional inspiration. Think about it. You wouldn't expect to build a strong body without consistent workouts. So why do we expect mental strength without effort? The truth is, your brain is either working for you or against you, and that depends on how you train it. When you let negativity, doubt, and fear run wild, you're feeding weakness. But when you practice self-talk, focus, and emotional control, you're building power, real, lasting power. Here's how to train your mind every single day. Control the input. What you consume matters. Stop feeding your brain junk. Endless scrolling, drama, negativity. Feed it books, podcasts, challenges. Choose content that builds you, not breaks you. Talk to yourself. Don't listen. When your brain says you're not good enough, don't just sit there. Talk back. Say, that's not true. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm stronger every day. Words shape belief, and belief shapes action. Practice gratitude. Every morning name 3 things you're grateful for. It sounds simple, but it rewires your brain. It teaches you to look for the good, even in chaos. That's strength. Push through discomfort. Every time you do something hard, something you didn't feel like doing, you train your brain to trust you, to believe we do hard things. That belief, that's bulletproof. Visualize success. See it, feel it, before it happens. The mind doesn't know the difference between real and imagined success. Use that to your advantage. Here's the deal. Your mind will either push you forward or pull you down. It's your job to train it daily. This is why elite athletes, Navy SEALs, and top performers all talk about mental reps. They don't just train their body, they train their thoughts. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits, especially your mental ones. So stop saying, I'm not mentally strong. Start proving to yourself that you are. One challenge at a time, one rep at a time, one better choice at a time. This is your brain gym. Show up and train.